So growing up, right, Joe? Is this what you always wanted to do? Like, what did you want to do growing up?
So like when I grow up, like we always worked, you know, my dad, my grandpa, like my grandpa was always had a project going on Saturday. He always worked on Saturday after working like Monday through Friday, long hours too. He would work like 12-hour days, and he always did something Saturday. He was always doing something, like building something, fixing something on a job site, and then even Sundays too. He would always do. He worked every single day.
That's special.
And then, like, kind of growing up, you're just like almost like born into it, I guess.
Yeah, that's how kind of was with me too. Like, the same thing. Like, my family's in the barber, I'm a barber. Like,
right?
Yep.
And then I knew I always wanted to do like be in construction and have the equipment and like.
That's actually what I wanted to do when I was younger too, believe it or not.
Like do like construction, be able to like dig holes. That was always fun. Running equipment. Buying stuff, like I always like to buy things, like always buy new tools.
So
growing up,
also too, like what is like your future goals? Like what's like your next venture or goal that you're trying to create right now?
Like end goal?
Not end goal, like just like your next because
like I just want to keep growing the company that my brother and I started. Like you know, it's pretty fucking amazing to think about.
Great. You said you went from what to how many dumpsters again? You said you went from
2 to 10.
How many years?
We probably got to 300 like right before COVID, like a year after, like 3 years. Like we grew the business pretty good. Like we just took all the money and we like invested it back into the company.
That's what you got to do, right? That's like the key.
Somebody told us that like it was a company that started out, and he said, you know what my grandpa, like, or I can't remember. He said, you know what my father did? It was not our company, but it was like a big construction company. He said all the money he got, he put back into the company and bought more equipment. Because like once you have the equipment, you could literally do anything. You could do anything.
Is it hard to get good workers? Is that like a tricky thing?
So it's hard. It's 100%. It's hard to find good, reliable help. But once you find like a good core of guys, you keep those guys. You take care of those guys, and then once you have your core set, then to add and change like the laborers or like the entry level positions, that's easier. But you need a good core of guys that you can trust and say, hey, dude, go take care of this job. It's a 2-3 day job, and at the end, like you have to pay attention to it, but you could trust them.
Have you ever had any like low points where you were nervous and like scared?
Like scared. Like
did you ever see like the business not going how you want it and you got nervous?
Hell yeah. Like when you make some big investments and you're like, holy shit, this whole thing can crumble. You know what I mean? Like what happens if you can't get work for those, like that Centerbogan when we bought it? Like I had no fucking clue. You had to make a payment to the bank, right? I mean, we're talking a machine that's worth almost $800,000.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Shit.
You got to pay the bank every month, and what happens when you don't pay the bank? They're gonna come and take it, and that thing is gonna go under. But it worked. We just kept grinding and hustling and bidding and taking jobs every day. Saturday and Sunday looking at jobs, going in, working.
So like
after work.
This is another thing too. Like so when I first started cutting hair, I used to get nervous. Like, is there any jobs that make you like? For me, when I would cut hair, right, a bald fade, that was the most scariest haircut, right? Because it's extreme, right? When you go into a job, like what is like the scariest job? Like the job we just went to right now looks really intense because there's a lot of trees.
I don't think the word's scary. It's just like
more thought, like nervousness.
Yeah, maybe like in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like when you're working on trees that are like maybe tight to the home, or like holy fuck, if something goes wrong, you're fucking crushing some dude's house. Yeah, that's definitely scary. In the beginning it was, but like now it's just like so normal. When you go on to a job, and then this other job, we actually just bid off a big job at Waterbury. Big. It's
the park one you were talking about.
The park one, yeah. And it was like a public RFP, so anybody in the United States literally could bid on it.
Okay.
But it was a request for qualification, so it really wasn't going to the low bidder. I mean, low bidder, obviously.
Yeah.
is taken into consideration. But request for qualifications is they want to see if the company that bid on it and or they're going to award it to is qualified to perform the work. So I had to actually go into City Hall and give a presentation in front of a full board. And like I was on the city council back then, and that was probably one of like the best things I ever did in my life when I was young, because it gave me that.
That's crazy. How old were you when you were on the city council? You were one of the youngest, right?
I was probably arguably the youngest to be elected. And I think I was. If someone can tell me otherwise, like prove me wrong, but I think I was the youngest to be elected. And I did 4 years on there. And, it was no regrets. I thought I did a good job. Maybe one day I would dive back in, but not right now, because you have to dedicate a lot of time. And growing the company and trying to push and climb to the top in the world, right? 1% is my goal. It just takes time, and I couldn't dedicate the time anymore, so that's kind of why I stepped away. I finished the term, everything finished, but like it gave me that knowledge that you can't get out of a textbook. Like you could never learn what I learned 4 years on the city council in a textbook or in college. Never. No way, because I went to college, got the associates, got like 80 credits, and then I didn't finish the bachelor degree. I kind of wish I did, but I didn't.
Where did you go to high school again?
I went to
Wilcox, right?
Yeah. So I went to, I started at St. Paul, right? That didn't go too well. They just knew it wasn't for me. And then I went from St. Paul to Wilcox, and that's kind of where I finished. I was in carpentry. I kind of grew up doing like the trades. Like, if I could turn the clock back, I wouldn't do carpentry, because like I grew up doing.
You knew it, right? Like it's like
it was stupid. I should have done like electrical or plumbing.
Okay.
Because to have a little bit more knowledge when it comes to electrical and or plumbing, it would have been a little bit better. Like if I could go into like into a circuit panel and be able to take breakers out and change them, like that would be just one other benefit to me. Like I really wouldn't feel comfortable doing that right now. Like that's why I get, I have electricians and so on and so forth that work for me. But I wish if I could turn the clock back, when you could if you could always turn the clock back and change something in your life, that'd probably be one of the things I could change, is to take a different trade.
So, right, if you had somebody jumping into the business world, if you had somebody that was jumping into the real estate, what is like the key thing you would tell somebody with the knowledge that you gain? What's like one of the most important factors?
So if you're gonna jump into like the real estate and then maybe try to do like a house flip, you definitely have to have some cash. Like you have to save some money.
Okay.
Like maybe find a partner. Try to save 30, 40 grand, right, each. Maybe do it with a partner first, because $100,000 for someone that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But if you could divvy up 40 grand and then maybe your partner can divvy up 40 grand, now you have 80 grand to play with. $80,000, you could buy something and make it work. So you figure you buy something for 80, and then remember how I told you in the beginning of this, the roof, the windows, this and that. You kind of do your calculations before you get into it. And that home inspection that I told you about for $400.
Definitely invest in that, right? Got it. Yeah.
No question about it. Before you close on the deal, definitely do the home inspection. It'll kind of give you the blueprint of from A to Z on what's wrong with the home. Like like a home like that, I love. See how it's rotted and stuff. Like I love houses like that. Right? I want them more busted up.
Okay.
Like just I like to buy shit that's ran into the ground.
Okay.
Because you can get it on a steel, right? And then I know how to fix it for half the cost that it would cost. Your Wall Street.
You pick up like
I always compare it to like Wall Street guys. Like Wall Street guys know that end of the business. They don't know anything with construction, so they pay top dollar. That's how I always compare. Like I'm the Wall Street guy when it comes to doing the construction on homes. You're not going to get one over on me ever.
That's you.
Done it too many times.
That's a big thing too, to have the insider trade of knowing everything.
That's what you got to be careful of. So if you were to dive,
what would you budget? What would you tell somebody to budget at?
Like
how much money would you so if you had 80,000, right, or we'll say 100, right? If we had 100,000, how much would you put down cash into a house? And then what about the equity of can you pull equity out and like what's
you could do a bunch of different ways. So figure if say for instance you had 120 grand in your bank account, right, in your savings account. You're like, okay, I want to make an investment, right? I'd find something around like the 95,000 range, right? And I would always figure, you got to put 20 to 30 grand into the home, right? Like by the time you change the kitchen, because usually the kitchens are usually dated, and you may have to do the roof, and you may have to update the flooring, and then may have to do a bathroom or two. As long as you don't get any big ticket items where you have to change all the electrical and all that stuff, you 20 or 30 grand will go a long way in a home. And then figure you're into that home for like 130, right? You hope that if you did your research right and you look at sales from that last 6 months, those same homes that you bought in good condition that are reselling, you hope that they're selling for like the 160 to 180 range. So now you're only into the home for 130. If you could sell it for 160 on the low end, you make 30 grand, right? If you sell it for 180, you hit the 50. 50 is like the home run for flips. I'm gonna show you the one that I did. This was the last one I did. So I did 3 last year. 1, 2, 3.
The last one that you
last year, and I learned from all 3.
Okay.
And I'll show you the one that I did last year.
Did you rent these or you sold? These are flips.
I flipped. I flipped them all. I flipped all 3 and made money on all. Didn't lose on any of them.
Okay.
Right? But I learned, and then the last one I hit a home run on. Like literally a home run. I'm gonna show it to you. This is right here. I bought this home in July, August, September, October. So I bought it in July, right here, and we went to work. I put a new AC condenser. I put new gutters. I did the back. I did the patio. I did all the nice landscaping in front. I changed the windows. I added a bedroom. I added a full.
This is a former project from last year.
Yeah. So remember, close to close, right? Close to close, 82 days. I bought it, fixed it, and sold it in 82 days. This was the 3rd one I did, so I learned from all of them. Close to close, this is what I did. Bought it for 135, sold it for 285. Hit a home run on this deal. I think I put about 55 into it, so I scored a home run. But that's after I learned on how do you think it came out?
That's the shit. Beautiful.
Beautiful, right?
Beautiful, yeah.
Close to close, 82 days. When I tell people, they're like, wow, dude, that was a good one. Only regret is I probably should have changed the mailbox. But it didn't affect the sale, though. So this was a fun project, dude. I love this. We were working here on the weekends.
That's a beautiful house.
You know, because like priorities with work always comes first. This was always like the hobby.
That one?
But I fucking pushed.
Do you ever feel yourself get like overwhelmed?
Nah, I love pressure.
Nice.
I love pressure, dude.
That's how I
I love
you gotta be
pressure.
built into you.
I love it, dude.
I love the resistance.
Like deadlines and people like, oh, dude, you can never do that. You can't do that. You can't sell houses in this market, dude. It's tanking. Like it's always the people that tell you that you can't do it in this market that's never fucking done it. Ever done it in their life. They're like, oh, you can't do it. I'm like, oh, how many have you done? Oh, I've never done that before. Then why the fuck are you talking?
It's for real.
Why are you talking? If you have never done it, why would you even talk about it? Like you can't. Fucking try, and if you fail, then say, oh, well, where did I make the mistake? Let me learn from it. See?
And I feel like you gotta keep going even after you make, like, if you really are passionate, you gotta keep going. Like, you gotta keep, no matter what. If you
keep
fail,
firing.
Yeah, keep it.
You just keep firing. Eventually, you're gonna hit something.
Now we're pulling into like where this is where you keep all like.
This is where one of our holding yards for the dumpsters. The idea is you never want the yard filled, right? Because when the yard is filled, that means the dumpsters are not out. That means the dumpsters aren't making money. Okay. Like slow months with the dumpsters is the winter. January, February, and then March it starts to pick up. This is one of our projects. So we bring some brush here, and then we'll chip all this and make like a big pile of wood chips, right? So we'll add some brush. This is from like the week, and then we'll come in here like on the weekend and we'll grind all this, and then we'll just make piles of wood chips. See? But these are the dumpsters. Usually, if we come back here in the next month or so, this will be empty. These will all be out.
So, how long do you usually rent a dumpster? How long does it stay out for?
So that's a good question. I always see what the competition is doing, right? And typically, you know, I came to the conclusion that I do 7-day rentals now.
Okay.
So 7-day rentals.
And what are the price margins on like for 7 days?
When someone asks me that, I'm like, hey, my sister handles that other business called on the website. But I don't know. I usually say they're like $425, $525, $625 for a 15-yarder, $425 for 20, $525, and then for a 30, $625. I mean, I could be off a little bit, but we always play with the market. You know, sometimes do 3-day specials and stuff. Now, remember I told you I have the fabricating welding shop? See, this dumpster was a piece of shit when we got it. We welded all those side plates on and made the dumpster nice. Like, if I put that dumpster on Facebook Marketplace, like, dude, someone would pay $5,000 for that. Maybe more. Honestly, maybe more.
Wow.
Maybe more.
And you said you got it for what?
When we were buying them in 17, we were buying those 30-yarders for fucking $1,500. If you knew the prices back then that they are now, dude, you could have been an instant millionaire. Dude, just bought a, you know what I mean? Invest $100,000 in them. Wow. That shit like 3x'd.
Do you ever sell them or not? You usually just keep them all, right?
See, I don't. I'm
you
always
like keeping it, right?
Well, see, I always put a price tag on something to sell. Like, I mean, hey, if you want to pay me $10,000 for one of those, I know it's not worth it. But if you're willing to pay, I'll sell it. My brother won't sell. Okay. Like he says, he doesn't
keep everything packaged. Yeah.
He just keeps everything. So whatever. So that's the model. It's just hold everything. That's the model this year. Is I'm not gonna do any of the flips, like to make the quick $30,000, $50,000, $80,000. Like, yeah, that's good money. I mean, I guess if you could score $80,000, it's worth to sell something. But I don't know. Long term, like you're gonna look at it for 20 years down the road. You hope to have 200 houses, and then package the sale together. And then you're talking, on 200, I don't know, figure $200,000-$300,000 a clip. But then you're talking about big ticket. We own all those storage units back there. That's another good business too.
Storage units.
Storage, yep. So did you learn anything?
Hell yeah.
A lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
We're gonna chop it up.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna send it to you first. See what you think.
Yeah, hell yeah. But I mean, I think the key is you gotta go for it. You gotta work every fucking day, dude. You gotta work. People think,
point towards something, right? At least,
dude, it was handed to him. He, you know what I mean? He had to.
That's why I hate when people say that too.
Fuck that.
I hear that too.
Those are the people that just hate. You know what I mean? Like, they just hate. Yeah, no shit. Like, I mean, I'm fortunate. I'm grateful. I know that. But you can't say that I didn't build up my own shit.
For real. Real shit. I seen it. I seen it from the beginning. I seen this shit too. That's like, you're one of the people that inspire me. That's younger than me that does all this stuff. Like, you're always going. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. The people that don't hate on you, they kind of compliment you on it. You know what I mean? They're like, wow, dude, that's pretty impressive. Like, even my buddy Jose.
Anybody can be like, oh, you got it.
I didn't answer.
And because you like they say, oh, you could just stop and not really do nothing, right? You know what I mean? And if you didn't want to, but what's the point? You want to continue to contribute to your family, keep your, you know what I mean? Keep growing. Like, that's how it was me when I first started cutting hair. Everybody was like, oh, you got the barbershop, you got to. Yeah, nobody told me how to cut hair. Nobody told me how to grow, like, stay passionate, consistent, growing, whatever. Yeah.
So, my day's not over. I got to do a 2 o'clock showing at that house I just took you to, a 2:30 showing, and then I got a 4 o'clock meeting at that other project. That's my Sunday. I mean, I even do the showings too.
You show yourself?
Yeah, no problem. So it's just like, as long as you don't lie and you just never lie. Be straight up about everything, and you have nothing to worry about. Never try to be a salesman. No. You know what I mean? Just straight up. Hey, I bought this. I'm gonna hold it for a while. I put all this money into it. Put a new roof, this and that. Got the new windows coming. It's in a good area. It's Southington. Obviously, Southington rents itself. How can you miss?
Southington's a nice area too.
Yeah. But I don't always do all the showings because, like, I got other things going on. But when I have to do it, I'll fucking do it. I mean, I'm not gonna be sitting home watching NCAA basketball when I could try to chase down a fucking $3,000 rent. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Maybe even more because I'm trying to do an insurance deal.
And those like guaranteed, right? Insurance, like that's more like.
Ooh, that's that's a home run. If you can land like a almost like a displaced family, it's sad in a way, right? Because somebody is displaced from their home, but the insurance company will place them in a something.
So it's a win-win kind of thing.
It's a win-win for everyone. You put a roof over someone's head that really needs it, and the insurance company's paying you, and they're paying you a premium too, because they want to do a shorter term lease. They wanted to do 6 months with me, which I was fine too. I was fine with it. I was perfectly fine with it. But I told them it wasn't furnished or anything like that.
Also, sometimes you
could furnish it and get more money.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this was special. A lot of great info.
And let's do it again.
Definitely.
Let's do it again. I'll be here at 6 a.m. tomorrow. It all starts again Monday.
What I want to do too is like when I release this, we're gonna do like crowd favorites, like people like where we can who wants to see more.
If you want to do an interview with someone that's like GOAT level elite, we could go to Pratt Street with the guy that created the Empire.
For real?
Whoo!
Grandpa, right?
The GOAT.
That's all. Like that.
The fucking
that
GOAT.
That would be dope.
The GOAT, man. The GOAT. You want to talk about from nothing to, I don't even know what you call it, what he has. I mean, it's like, dude,
that's a whole nother segment.
Dude.
And you say he goes to work every single day still, right?
He's 95, he works every day and Saturdays too. Still goes to New London. We go to Massachusetts every Wednesday. We go to Massachusetts for like a site visit. We have our staff meeting. We do inspections of a property. Every Wednesday, dude.
Wow.
And that dude's he's a legend, man.
Joe.
All right, dude.
My guy, I appreciate you. You heard it first from my guy, Joe. He killed it, man.
It was a pleasure. I look forward to the next one.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. Gotcha. Appreciate
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Nice haircut, too.
Thank you.